No one intervened.
On this week's episode, I have a one-on-one conversation with fellow podcaster and host of Dawnversations, Dawn Wecker. We talk the bold and the beautiful of being a hairstylist, which takes a dark turn during a makeover memory that you are not going to want to miss. She also shares about her time on Wheel of Fortune, answering the question, what is Vanna really like? All this and more. Let's get right into the chat. Greetings, and welcome to Jacqui Just Chatters. I'm your hostess, Jacqui Lents. This week I am blessed to chat with Dawn Wecker, hairstylist extraordinaire, and host of the podcast, Dawnversations. I love that title. It is so
Thank
catchy.
you. I know. It was not my idea, but I love it too.
Thank you so much for being my guest, Dawn.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. This is great.
We met on this podcast for ladies group. It's kind of this match group, and it's been great. I have found some fascinating podcasts and wonderful people through that.
It's super interesting, all the different kinds of people, for one, but podcasts that are out there. A lot of them are, motivational speakers and life coaches and all these seemingly super important things. And I'm just out here just talking about random stuff.
That random stuff is important.
Yes, to me it is.
That I feel like it's that everyday stuff of people. That's what we love. That's what we're interested in. It's all those little things. That's what people get so excited if they find, like, great grandma's diary or something, like, oh my gosh, what was life like? We like the everyday. It interests us. I mean, not that we don't like the extraordinary too, but it's nice to know that there's people who fold socks.
Yeah. That's true. I think the extraordinary is just so in our faces now with social media and everything. So we're all just so programmed for, well, that's funny, but I want to see something even funnier, or that's gory. I want to see something even more gory. And so I think we're just kind of programmed that way now. But no, I'm very simple life over here.
I don't think your story is all that simple. I mean, you did hair for 30 years.
Yeah, I did. Right out of high school, I went to beauty school. When I was 19, I graduated from beauty school and just went from there, had my kids, and, just life takes over. It just goes so fast that 30 years sounds like it should happen to an old person. I don't feel that old.
Nope, 30 years is not long at all.
No.
Did you always want to do hair? Like, were you always playing with color and your friend's hair in high school? I mean, were you that girl?
I was not. My mom is a hairstylist and she just retired not that long ago. So she's been doing it forever. I wanted to go to school for journalism. I wanted to interview people. I wanted to be Johnny Carson. I just wanted that life. And so I thought I needed a job to put me through school. And so I knew you could get your cosmetology license in less than a year for most people. And I thought, then I can do hair and that'll pay for my schooling. So because I liked talking to people, I realized once I got behind the chair that that's what I did all day, talk to different people all day long and kind of interviewed people all day. And I got to be artistic on top of it. So it ended up being a perfect fit.
I realized the irony that here you are.
Yeah.
And you're interviewing people. Like,
I know. I love it.
You're Johnny Carson now. You're living the dream.
Well, I didn't have to go to school for it. I mean, thank you, podcast world, for making this even a thing. Like, I feel like I just had to buy some microphones and, have my son help me edit. And here I am. I get to talk to whoever I want and ask them questions. And yeah, it's perfect. I love it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, like I totally agree with you. Like hair is way more than technique. I mean, there's so much of the people side of things. Like you have to deal with people all the time. And
Yeah.
and I think about like me and my stylist, like, we talk a lot. So your clients, did they ever use you as therapy?
Oh my God, yes. Yes, 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 100 times. They talk, they're vulnerable, I feel like, you're massaging their head and, it's just a very like intimate type of setting. And I feel like that lets people loosen up and they just unload, whether it's their boss that they can't stand or their husband that they're having problems with. They talk about their kids and their own parents or whatever. It's a very personal thing and it's awesome, but it can also be very taxing on the stylist emotionally. If you have people unload on you all day, you go home and you're just drained. It empties the tank a little bit, but it's a great job. I miss it. I do. It's a great job, very rewarding to make people feel good about themselves and look better, and it's a perfect job.
Dawn told me about the sanctity of the chair, how people poured out their private woes to her, and how stylists feel very protective of their clients. They are not inclined to share those personal stories. Her old customers had called her and asked if she was going to spill the beans about them when she started her own podcast, and she promised them that that was not going to happen. But I did manage to get a pretty funny story from her that I wanted to share with you.
I shared a story on one of my episodes. I can't remember which one. It was one of the earlier ones, but I had a lady who was military. So she had been all over the world, and her and her husband had split up under not so good circumstances. And anyway, long story short, she was looking for a picture in her phone to show me her hair that she wanted, and she's scrolling, and I'm just standing there waiting for her to find the picture of the hair, and there's just a picture of her boobs just right there in the phone. And I'm just like trying to act like I didn't see it so it wouldn't be awkward. And then she said, "Sorry about the boobs." And I was like, wow, duh, why did you say anything? So she proceeded to think that we were friends after that. And she told me very intimate details about her and her ex-husband. They're divorced, but they like to be together still in their
Oh,
little
that was for her
rendezvous.
ex-husband.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my. That is a very unusual divorce.
Yeah, they were trying to keep things spicy, I think, because they would meet at hotels, and I don't know. It was just, and I was just kind of like, lady, I've done your hair like 3 times. Just go, do you have any friends? Can't you just tell your friends? I don't want to know this stuff.
Okay,
Sometimes you just don't want to know.
that makes me wonder though, like, why did they get a divorce
I
if they're
know.
going to continue to do that? I mean,
I
you hear
think
most people who get a divorce, usually like that side of things is pretty dead.
he had found other people, and they had been
Oh,
married for like 40 years. So she was just like, "You're lost, bye, buddy." And then when he kind of started coming back around, I think it was kind of an ego thing maybe for her, like, "Oh,
wait,
you're coming back for more,
40 years and she's sending him booby pictures? I'm impressed.
that you wouldn't be if you no."
Well, no, like her bravery. Like, let's face it.
That was
Like
definitely
that
brave.
that was like she has ownership of her body. Like I wish I had that kind of ownership of my body that I I don't have that. I don't have that kind of
Yeah,
self-confidence. So
she
bravo
definitely
to
has
her
self-confidence.
self-confidence. That's what I
Yes.
say.
She definitely had that, without a doubt. There was a lot of that, but I didn't need to see it.
Nasty girl, scandalous, insatiable, all real freaky. Freaky girls really turn me on.
Salons are just an interesting dynamic. You have your business side that you have out on the floor, and then when you go to the break room, your stylist does it. All stylists do it. You just go back to that break room and you're just like, oh my God, this person, they want this, but their hair is actually like this. And oh, why do I do this for a living? I hate my job. And then you go back out there and you're like, okay, let's get started.
So your clients used you as therapy. It was the other women in the salon who you use for your therapy. Like that was who you
Yes.
went to.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, the break room is a magical room. We go there to talk about what's going on at home. You know, everybody, you're around those people all the time, which is the same with a lot of people and their coworkers, but it's just a different vibe when you're in a salon. People just, it's anything goes. It's magical. It really is. I miss it so much.
Well, I can imagine there's definitely a serious camaraderie.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all, like-minded. We all want to make people feel good and make some decent money, but it's really hard on your body. And that is something that I didn't plan for. I knew it, but I didn't plan for it. So I was kind of forced out. I ended up with an elbow injury and it just wasn't going to heal as long as I continued to do hair. So I had to make this decision to get out of it a couple months ago. So that was really bittersweet, saying goodbye to all my clients. Some of them I had done their hair since I was 19 years old.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a long time to do somebody's hair.
Yeah.
And to have their hair done by somebody.
I can imagine you had some very close relationships with these people.
Yeah. Yeah, they become your close friends. Some of them came to my kids' weddings and graduations. Yeah, they become a huge part of your life. A lot of those people do.
What was your favorite type of cut or transformation that you helped somebody go through?
Wow. I love doing haircuts. I love doing drastic haircuts. That's always just a really gratifying thing as a stylist. But I had a lady come in who had shoulder length, salt and pepper, but also blondish hair. And she wanted a radical makeover. And she showed me the picture of what she wanted. And it was basically, she was going to need extensions. She was going to need a super huge transformational color. And it was a ginormous undertaking. And I ended up coming in on my day off to do it because I didn't want to try and squeeze other people around it when I didn't know how long it was going to take me. And she had to pay for the hair extensions. It ended up being like $1,000 just for the extra hair.
Oh my
it was a
gosh.
$5,000 ticket by the time she left. And that was not me.
5,000.
Yeah. Yes. And that was not me upcharging. I honestly I had to bleach all of her hair out to white. The picture that she showed me was multi-dimensional. It had colors that looked like denim blue and silver and some strands of black and some strands of white. It was a huge project and it took me about
Wow.
6 hours.
6 hours?
Yes. But when it was done, it honestly, and this is not me tooting my own horn, it looked just like her inspirational picture, which I later found out was a wig. And I was like,
oh my gosh,
bought a wig and been just fine. But yeah, no, she wanted this certain look and it was amazing. I'll have to send you the pictures.
Oh, please do.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I will put that on my website. Oh my goodness. That is my mind is still reeling at a $5,000 tap.
Oh,
I can't even imagine. I mean, like that's like a car, not a good car, but a car.
Yeah, I know. And we had a consultation ahead of time. So it wasn't like I just, threw that at her. I was like, okay, if we do this, then it's going to be this much. If we do this, it's going to be, she knew the breakdown and she was like, I'm doing it. I'm going for it. Her husband had passed and she wanted to get herself back out there and was looking for a distinct look. And
I do have a copy of the photo with the famous hair. I will put that on my Jacqui Lents Facebook page for you to check out. I highly recommend it. Folks, I was still reeling from the price tag when all of a sudden the conversation took a turn to the dark side. I could not have seen this coming.
That was a crazy story. It was kind of Dateline-ish. Because then I remember at the end when it was all done, I was like, did I just help her conceal her identity?
Wait, what? Was his not a natural death?
She said it happened when they were in bed.
Oh my goodness. And had he just recently died?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I assumed like this was like 6 months later.
No. No, it wasn't. And you
Oh.
talk a lot in 6 hours with someone.
Yeah, you
So
can.
the more it went on, I was just like, oh, what's happening here?
That's
And then when she left, I thought, am I an accessory? Am I an accomplice? I don't know.
Did you
I don't
tell
know.
anyone?
Well, I told everybody at work.
And what
Like,
did
you
they
guys,
say?
they were all just like, are you kidding me? I'm like, guys, this woman, it was her second husband that she had lost.
How did the first one get lost?
I didn't ask, you know, at that point, I didn't want to know.
Oh my,
Hand on a Bible. This is honest to God,
oh
that
that,
happened.
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
it is crazy. There's just crazy things that happen.
In our follow-up conversation, Dawn informed me that husband number 2 had died merely days before. Though the mystery woman did come back to the salon sometime later for maintenance of her hair, it appeared she was about to enter matrimony again with husband number 3. Whereabouts of the merry widow are presently unknown. Did you ever style anybody famous?
I didn't ever, let me think. I don't think I did. I did this lady's hair, and her brother was next door neighbors with Scott and Lacey Peterson, if you know that story. Again, about murder. I'm all about murder. I love Dateline. But no,
I'm noticing a theme here.
Sorry for my cackle. But yeah, no, nobody famous, but I did meet 2 famous people. I was on Wheel of Fortune, and I met Vanna White like face to face. She came up to me while I was getting my makeup done and started talking to me. And then Pat Sajak, of course, that was just a dream come true. I always loved that show.
What was that like?
It was amazing. I wish everybody could be a contestant on that show.
Did you forget everything the minute you spun the wheel?
I had to do a self-talk in the mirror before I went out because I was so incredibly nervous and freaked out, and I didn't want to embarrass my family by not being able to solve a puzzle, and I really got in my head about it. So I went to the bathroom off stage and looked in the mirror, and I was like, Dawn, you need to have fun. This is a once in a lifetime thing. Just go out there and just have fun. And that's what I did. I went with it, and I had a great time. That's a lot easier from the couch, for sure.
Oh, I bet it is. Like, there's a lot of armchair quarterbacking.
Yeah, but I solved all 3 toss-up puzzles, so I got $6,000. I walked away with $6,000.
Oh my goodness! You could afford one of your fancy haircuts.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And just answering all the questions when I got back, everybody wanted to know, what it was like, and it was just so fun to talk about. But yeah, it was a great experience.
So you did meet a celebrity yourself.
Yeah. Yep. I look at myself every day.
You are the celebrity.
Yeah.
You were on Wheel of Fortune.
I was. Yep.
Did you give Vanna some hair tips?
No, I didn't. She is stunning. She is stunning. She had yoga pants on and a t-shirt, and she looked like $1,000,000. I was just like, wow, talk about a star. And she was so sweet. She was just like, are you excited? Yes, Vanna, I'm very excited. And Pat Sajak said I was adorable. So
Aw,
yeah,
that's fantastic.
it was fantastic. Loved it.
Now, what do you think makes a good stylist?
I think I would say 80% of it is attitude and personality, and the other 20% is your technical, because technical can be taught. But you really have to have the drive. You have to be willing to be a chameleon for any type of personality that sits in your chair. You need to have good communication and just a good attitude. You're there to please people and serve them, basically. So you really have to commit yourself that that's what it is. But being a good technical stylist is great. It just can only get you so far.
I listened to some of your podcast, and you had your friends on there, and holy moly, shenanigans.
Which Jill and Sandy, is that which one?
I think so. There was a group of ladies, and you guys were talking about your heyday and the trouble you guys used to get into.
Yes,
And
yes.
there was a clown. There was
Oh, yeah, yeah.
bartender Barbie, and that they definitely sound like they are your tribe, these women.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I've known them since I was 19, since I started hair. Yeah. Fun. One of them was my manager, and the other one's her best friend, and therefore became one of my best friends too. And she's the one that ordered a clown to bring me in a box of donuts while I was doing hair, and I'm petrified of clowns. So that was her prank. She's always pulling pranks, but scared the crap out of me just having a clown come in all scary and with a mask on and stuff. Yeah. But no, we had some great times. For 13 years, I worked with Jill, and yeah, we just had a blast together. And it helped that there was a bar right down the street from the salon that we were at, right down the mall. So it was awesome.
What impact would you say having them has made in your life?
Having those girls as my friends.
Yeah.
They've always kept me humble. They've always been there. They were there through my divorce. They just knew me from growing up. I grew up in front of them. They saw me single. They saw me married, having kids, divorced, remarried. They've been there through everything. So, yeah, they're just great people. We've experienced so much together, and I don't know, there's just so much to be said for lifelong friends, even if you just have one, or if it's your family, just having people that have known you almost your whole existence. That's just such a special thing.
Now, we are coming out of COVID, and people are starting to get back into these social situations, and they're having to make a lot of small talk. And it seems like a lot of us have kind of forgotten how to do that. And you were a professional small talker. So
Yeah.
do you have any tips on how to make small talk?
That's really good. I think first and foremost, everybody's first topic is themselves. So they love talking about themselves. And if you can figure out what it is that they are interested in, they will always remember you and think that you're a great conversationalist because you talked about them and they got to talk about themselves. But, it usually starts off pretty generic. If they're coming in to get their hair done and they want to change, it's what's going on in your life. Do you want something different? But besides that, if they're not getting their hair done, if you're just looking for social, I think just starting with, the weather. I know it's boring, but you get going on it if people are like, I hate it when the weather's like this. I love it when it's in the fall. And oh, what do you like about the fall? Why is the fall your favorite? I love Halloween. It can carry on. You just sometimes have to start with the basics until they start to feel warmed up. And then people slowly start to let you in and tell you more about themselves and stuff. But I don't know. It's something that comes naturally to a lot of people, and a lot of people just don't like it at all. Small talk is some people's pet peeves.
What has working in a service industry for 30 years taught you about you?
That I'm very adaptable. I've learned that just through life, really, life experiences too. But yeah, I think just you have to adapt your personality to other people's personalities. Kill people with kindness, and realize that if they are upset or they unload or whatever, is most of the time has nothing to do with you. It's them. They might have some inner stuff going on, so you can't take too much of it to heart. Some people are just really having a tough time, and they like to lash out at people that are performing services on them, or in that kind of line of work, whether you're a waiter or waitress or working at the airport or at a hotel. Just sometimes it's easier for people just to lash out or unload on strangers than it is to their own family or whatever. So you just have to not take it too hard, I guess.
And Dawn, what's your favorite season?
Mine is fall, 100%. I love Halloween, and I love chili and football, and just, I don't know, all of it. The smell in the air, the changing leaves. We're fortunate to be in the Midwest, so we get to see all the leaves change and stuff. And I just think that that's just the most beautiful thing ever. It's absolutely my favorite. If spring lasted longer, it would be spring, but it just doesn't. So fall it is.
I'm with you on that one. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Well, our time is coming to a close. I want to thank
Okay.
you so much for agreeing to be my guest today.
Yeah, this
This
was a
has been,
first for me. I haven't done well, for one, remote, but I haven't been interviewed. So this is awesome. This has been really fun.
this has been a blast.
Yeah.
Isn't life so amazing? Sometimes it can get crazy, but hey, that's okay. We've got another day to make mistakes and say sorry. There's no sense in our worry, 'cause all we can do is try our best to make it through with love.
I will have links for you to check out Dawn's podcast in my description. I want to thank you, listeners, for coming back after my summer break. I hope you are feeling rested and full of summer joy. Remember, you can follow me on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio. Or you can find me, like, and subscribe on YouTube. I upload every other Thursday. If you are enjoying these podcasts, I would be delighted if you shared with your friends, left a rating on Spotify, or a review on Apple Podcast. Until next time, I wish you well.